Chapter 41. The show begins. Brothers betray. A heavy blow. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding, Mubai is filled with hatred and anger, villain value plus 999. Ding, Mubai is terrified, villain value plus 888. Why don't you let me go? Of course it's because you are the protagonist. After a pause, Xu Liang changed his tone. I will not feel at ease unless you die. His smile was still as gentle as the spring breeze, but at this moment, both Pengming and Mubai felt a chill rushing straight from their tailbone to their brains. Although he did not quite understand what Xu Liang meant by the protagonist, Mubai was really scared when he heard the word death. You want to kill me? No one can stay calm in the face of death, but gradually, his heart calmed down. Death is terrible, but what is more terrible than death is living a life worse than death. Thinking about the days he has lived these days, he has lived worse than a dog. If he had not hoped to develop a new battery, he would have given up long ago. Now, his enemy suddenly told him. Everything you encounter is arranged by me, and everything you research is also for my benefit. He simply couldn't accept it. Suddenly, a gleam flashed in Mubai's eyes. Even if I die, I won't let you succeed. You can't get my research results. After saying that, he turned around and grabbed the USB flash drive. He wanted to destroy the technical information in it. He would never let Xu Liang succeed even if he died, but someone was one step faster than him. It was Pengming. He took the USB flash drive in his hand first, then, in Mubai's confused eyes, he came to Xu Liang with the USB flash drive and tremblingly presented it. Xiao Ming, you betrayed me. After a while, Mubai came back to his senses and looked at Pengming in disbelief. He finally knew why Xu Liang happened to appear when he succeeded in his research and development. It turned out that there was an insider. Xu Liang walked in without making any sound, probably because he didn't lock the door. Damn it, they are brothers, best friends who have been together for 7 years. Mubai's eyes were blank, his face was dejected, and he was lost. Even if he knew that everything was planned by Xu Liang behind the scenes, he was not so heartbroken and angry. Ding. Mubai's mentality exploded. Villain value plus 1000. Xu Liang handed the new battery and USB flash drive to his men, and watched this wonderful scene with interest. Why? Facing Mubai's hysterical questioning, Pengming was very ashamed, but thinking of Xu Liang's explanation, he had to speak. No reason, Mr. Xu gave me 100,000. Mubai vomited blood. You were bought off with 100,000 yuan. Our 7 years of relationship can't even be worth 100,000 yuan. Ding. Mubai's mentality exploded. Villain value plus 1000. Of course not, let alone 100,000, even if it was 1 million or 10 million, Pengming would not betray, but Xu Liang used his family as a threat, and Xu Liang didn't give him 100,000 yuan. He was told to say these words. You are an ungrateful bastard. Have you forgotten that I helped you clear your name when you were wrongly accused of touching a girl's butt and were ostracized? When you were a sophomore, something happened in your family. I took out a loan to help you through the difficult times. Junior. Mubai was like a madman. He was hit hard by the betrayal of his best friend. Every time he said a word, Pengming's heart trembled. At this moment, he wanted to tell the truth, but he didn't dare to think of something. He could only hold back his tears and trembled as he said those heartless words. Of course I haven't forgotten. In my heart, you are an idiot. I will find you anyway if I have any difficulties. I will find you when I need you, kick you away when you are useless, and I can get money by betraying you. Why not? Mubai was stunned. It turned out that he was an idiot and a clown in his brother's heart. He helped his classmates and did good things with passion, but he got such an evaluation in return. This made him feel like his faith had collapsed. For a moment, as if he had lost all his energy, Mubai collapsed to the ground, feeling as if he had lost all his energy. Ding. Mubai's mind collapsed. Villain value plus 1000. Papa. At this time, a round of applause rang out. Xu Liang clapped his hands, with an interesting smile on his face. Excellent, it's rare for me to see such a good show. I won't kill you today. Seeing that he could no longer get villain value from Mubai, he was ready to leave. Peng Ming followed behind him and asked excitedly after leaving the laboratory. "Mr. Su, are you really going to let brother by? Mu Bai go?" "Of course." Xu Liang chuckled. "Impossible, that just as he said, that's the protagonist, who knows when he will turn over. I'm worried if I don't kill him. The reason why he hasn't taken action yet is just because he still has a little bit of luck." Xu Liang has already thought of how to give him a heavy blow. Hearing this, Peng Ming's face froze and he stood there in a daze. At this moment, Xu Liang activated his mind control skill, swish. Peng Ming's body trembled. After a moment, he returned to normal. With a trace of confusion in his eyes, but he forgot what happened in the graduate school just now, although what happened just now would not have any impact even if Peng Ming told others, but to be on the safe side, Xu Liang still let him forget it. On the one hand, it was also to test the ability of mind control. It seems that the effect is not bad. Peng Ming's mental strength is much weaker than his, and his mentality collapsed at this time, so he was controlled in an instant. He did not use the slave function. The reason is simple, Peng Ming is not qualified in the laboratory. Only Mu Bai stared at the ceiling absent-mindedly. Today's blow to him was too great for him to bear, knowing that he was just a pawn and the results of his research and development were taken away. The last hope of the Mu family's rise was shattered. The betrayal of his best friend for 7 years and the words he said broke his heart. At night, Mu Bai dragged his tired body and walked on the street. His eyes were dull, and he felt that the road ahead was bleak, and he didn't know what to do next. Laughter could be heard from time to time around him. Human sorrows and joys are not the same. Mu Bai just felt that they were noisy. His heart was dead, but he couldn't die yet, because his father was waiting for him. As soon as he returned to the park, a figure with disheveled hair, no different from a beggar, rushed in front of him. Mu Bai was startled and came back to his senses from his confusion. "Dad!" Mu Feng was a little crazy, with a pair of eyes that seemed to want to kill, and grabbed his collar viciously. "Did you offend the eldest son of the Su family? Is it because of you that our Mu family is destroyed?" Mu Bai didn't dare to look into his father's eyes, and lowered his head and didn't speak. "Speak!" Mu Feng roared angrily. In the end, Mu Bai nodded. Puff! Mu Feng spit out a mouthful of blood. "Rebellious son! Rebellious son!" After saying that, he was so angry that he fell backwards. Mu Bai was frightened and rushed to help his father, but found that his father had stopped breathing. He was dumbfounded. Was his father mad at him to death? "Help, someone is killing someone." At this time, 2 people passed by the park and happened to see a person vomiting blood and falling to the ground. They thought someone was killing someone and were scared. "What the hell? What the hell? Call an ambulance, call the police." "Ah. Should I call the police first or the ambulance first? You've made me so confused." Kneeling for support, reward, and electricity. Chapter 42. The protagonist's halo disappears. Xia Qingqiu, the queen of the underworld. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not long after, the ambulance and police car arrived. Several doctors got off the car, and after a preliminary examination, the doctor shook his head. Mu Bai's last glimmer of hope was shattered. How could this happen? He was extremely self-blaming and regretful. If he hadn't gone to find Li Wanjun and hadn't met Xu Liang, would nothing have happened? Little did he know that his idea was still too naive. Xu Liang's layout was far beyond his imagination. When he knew that he was the protagonist, his fate had already been arranged. Seeing his father being taken to the ambulance, Mu Bai also wanted to follow, but was stopped by the police. "Someone called the police and said you killed someone, now come with us." He was stupid. He wondered if he was deaf and heard it wrong. "He is my father, would I kill him? Please come with me before the suspicion is lifted." Without giving him a chance to explain, several people rushed forward. Mu Bai was struggling, and suddenly he spit out a mouthful of blood, and his whole spirit was depressed. Ding! Mu Bai's mentality collapsed. Villain value plus 1000. Not far from here, a Rolls-Royce stopped by the roadside. In the car, Xu Liang watched Mu Bai being taken away. As the reminder sounded in his mind, he clearly saw that Mu Bai's luck had completely disappeared. In other words, from now on, Mu Bai is no longer the protagonist. It was just Xu Liang's random idea to let someone pass on the reason for the Mu family's bankruptcy to Mu Feng. originally. He thought that he had to kill him in order to squeeze the protagonist's last luck, but he didn't expect that it was not necessary at all. Xu Liang fell into deep thought. Then should he still kill the protagonist? What about Mu Bai? After thinking for a while, he made a decision. Kill. Not to mention that he knew the new battery technology. Even if there was an irreconcilable hatred between the two, he had to die. The grass must be cut off at the root. Although Mu Bai no longer had the ability to turn over, what if? Xu Liang would not allow any accidents to happen, immediately began to order people to make arrangements. With his energy, it's too easy to make a person disappear without a sound. On the other side, the Starry Night Bar. This bar is very famous even in the whole Magic City. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's not the time for nightlife to start yet, but many young people have gathered here. They are either hunting for beauty or looking for fun, and they are all happy, but there is one person who is different. He has been drinking, the kind that pours bottles after bottles into his stomach, which is particularly conspicuous. Fuck. This guy has been drinking for 2 hours in a row. Isn't he afraid of sudden death? So awesome. Damn, big brother. Is he not drunk at all? Damn it, can't it be a fake bar? Hee hee. I advise you to speak softly. You dare to say that the wine is fake here? Do you want to die? The crowd whispered, some admired and some disdained. Another dozen. After drinking for 2 hours, Lin Hao was already drunk. After being driven out by Qingqiu, he walked aimlessly on the street and passed by this bar unknowingly. It just so happened that he also wanted to get drunk. That's why the scene just now happened. Handsome guy, drinking alone is so boring. Do you want someone to accompany you? A woman with heavy makeup and coquettish clothes sat next to Lin Hao. She also picked up the cup and poured herself a cup. Get lost. Lin Hao just glanced at her and said mercilessly, having seen peerless beauties like Lu Rulan and Qingqiu, these rouge and vulgar powders did not interest him at all. Handsome guy, don't be so angry, I can help you calm down. I said. Get lost, don't you understand what I'm saying? That the coquettish woman was interrupted by Lin Hao before she finished speaking. You, wait for me. Her face was extremely ugly, she stamped her feet and glared at him fiercely. When has the most famous socialite ever suffered such grievances? Not long after, the socialite came back with a group of strong men, pointing at Lin Hao. He is the one who bullies others. The leading strong man had a fierce look in his eyes, and came to Lin Hao with a bad tone. It was you who bullied my girl. Lin Hao drank by himself and ignored him. Can't you hear me talking to you? The strong man slapped him on the back of his head. Lin Hao was a little confused, and he got angry when he saw him slap him again. He kicked the strong man 3 or 4 meters away. Fuck. Kicked him so far, is he still a human being? Awesome, didn't you know that the big brother is not only a heavy drinker, but also a better fighter? Isn't he the legendary martial arts master? I want to become his disciple. Hearing the discussions around him, the strong man was angry and forgot that this was not the place for him to run wild. Kill him for me. A group of younger brothers rushed forward. However, the faster they rushed up, the farther they flew away. After Lin Hao finished off a group of his followers with a few punches and 2 kicks, he continued to drink and get drunk. Just wait for me. Seeing him so fierce, the strong man was frightened, and left with a harsh word. The onlookers were shocked by Lin Hao's force, and there were endless exclamations. When Lin Hao was drinking vigorously, another middle-aged man came to him. Sir, I am the manager of the bar, and our boss wants to see you. See me? I have to go to see me. Let him come to me himself. As if thinking of something, Lin Hao's tone was full of resentment. This. The middle-aged manager was a little embarrassed, and just as he was about to say something, a voice came. You go back. The voice was cold and mixed with a hint of seductive charm. Just from the sound, people can't help but think of a stunning beauty. That's right, everyone looked in the direction of the sound, and a fascinating woman came slowly. She had a cold expression on her face, as if she was at the top, a queen high above, overlooking all living beings, but her eyes are full of charm, which makes her face look cool and charming. These 2 contradictory temperaments are presented on her, but they are not Abrupt at all, which gives people a strong desire to conquer, she walks lightly, and her every move is charming, which makes people want to get close to her and feel the irresistible attraction. Xia Qingqiu, the owner of the Starry Night Bar and the founder of the Star Moon Club, 3 years ago, she came to the Magic City. One person built the second largest force in the Magic City from scratch, the Star Moon Club. She also became a generation of heroes, the queen of the underworld, and the name of Qingqiu, the bloody hand, resounded throughout the underground world of the Magic City. Chapter 43. Kill the protagonist and comfort the heroine. The hidden truth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My God, what did I see? Xia Qingqiu actually showed up here. Wow. I came here every day just to see Queen Xia, and finally got what I wanted. She is so beautiful. Xia Qingqiu's temperament and style are not inferior to the female doctor. She is a natural queen. The crowd danced with excitement when they saw Xia Qingqiu appear. Many of them came here every day just to see Xia Qingqiu's peerless beauty. Lin Hao put down the bottle unconsciously, and he was also amazed by Xia Qingqiu. Her appearance was not inferior to that of the senior sister, and her temperament was even more attractive. From the discussions of the people around him, he knew the identity of the visitor, and couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Xia Qingqiu. Isn't this his second senior sister? Second senior sister. Lin Hao shouted immediately. Huh? Xia Qingqiu frowned. She didn't know the identity of this person. It just happened that she saw Lin Hao take action in the surveillance video, and saw that he was extraordinary, so she was a little interested. Although Xingqiu Club is now the second largest force in the Magic City, its situation is not very good, especially in recent times. It has been at odds with the Wolf League. The Wolf League has been the first force in the Magic City for nearly 10 years, and no one can shake its position, until the rise of Xingqiu Club. Although Xingqiu Club has only been established for 3 years, its strength is not weak at all, especially the president Xia Qingqiu. Although he is not very old, his strength has reached the level of dark energy, which is the same level as the leader of the Wolf League. The strength of the top leaders is almost the same, and the people below are vulnerable, resulting in a stalemate between the two sides. Now the appearance of any master may affect the situation. Therefore when she saw such a master appear in her bar, she came down to take a look. Unexpectedly, this guy actually called her the second senior sister. Wait, I remember that the master sent her a letter some time ago. She roughly read it and asked her to take care of the little junior brother, but at that time, I was busy dealing with the Wolf Alliance, so I didn't pay attention. It seems that this is the junior brother. Xia Qingqiu's eyes flashed with a strange color. Come upstairs with me. Lin Hao followed Xia Qingqiu and went up to the second floor in the shocked eyes of everyone. What the hell did I hear? That big brother actually called Queen Xia the second senior sister. No wonder he is so powerful. Envy. I also want to have such a senior sister. Second floor living room. Xia Qingqiu took the tea handed over by his subordinates, took a sip, and then looked at Lin Hao. Are you Lin Hao? My junior brother. But she frowned slightly. Lin Hao's image is not very good now. His hair is like a chicken coop, his clothes are sloppy, his spirit is listless, and he is full of alcohol, just like a homeless person outside. To be honest, if he wasn't a master and called her the second senior sister, Xia Qingqiu would have had him thrown out long ago. Yes, second senior sister. Lin Hao felt that the look in the second senior sister's eyes when she looked at him was somewhat familiar, just like the look Qin Jianjia gave him when she went to pick him up before. Why are you in this state? Xia Qingqiu was a little disappointed. She was actually happy for a while, thinking that this junior brother was a master and that there was hope for dealing with the Wolf Alliance. How could he be a master with such a sloppy look? Lin Hao didn't dare to hide similar questions this time. He didn't want Xu Liang to deceive the second senior sister again. Immediately, he told the whole story, from the time he came down the mountain to the Magic City, until he was driven out by the senior sister Qin Jianjia to get drunk. As he spoke, he, a grown man, choked up. It was really too difficult. The engagement was broken off, the fiancée was pregnant, she was slapped away, she was electrotherapy in a small dark room, and she watched her senior sister gradually become someone else's shape. If he hadn't spent 6 years in the mountains and tempered his iron will, he would have collapsed long ago. Xu Liang. Xia Qingqiu looked solemn. When she heard that her senior sister Qin Jianjia was deceived, she was still furious and ready to take revenge. The three of them studied together in the mountains, and they were like sisters. Even when they went down the mountain, they often contacted each other, but when she learned that the man was Xu Liang, she was silent. She should protect herself first. She naturally knew Xu Liang, not only knew him but also was very familiar with him. He came to her door more than once, openly and secretly asking her to be his woman. Indeed, Xu Liang not only came from a big family, but was also very outstanding. Not to mention his appearance, the national husband is modest, and the national husband is not much less. He has a gentle temperament, treats people with elegance and ease, and has no dandy airs. From a big family, he inherited the Xu group at a young age. Although it is a branch in Shanghai, it also controls hundreds of billions of funds. Such a man is simply a perfect partner, but Xia Qingqiu always feels that Xu Liang is pretending. There is no evidence, just a woman's sixth sense. He is too perfect, so perfect that it feels unreal. Facts have proved that her sixth sense was right. When he met her several times before, his attitude was always elegant and easygoing. Then, his true colors gradually revealed themselves. How could she know that there were other women waiting for him to join the family? How could Xu Liang tolerate her playing Tai Chi all the time? If there was not a heroine in the final stage of the strategy at that time, he would have used some extraordinary means on her. Every time Xu Liang came to her before, Xia Qingqiu would fool him with smooth means. The last time, she could feel that Xu Liang's patience was exhausted. These days, Xia Qingqiu has been feeling uneasy. Did you really go to Xia Qingqiu's place? Xu Liang raised his eyebrows slightly, his eyes flickered, and he didn't know what plan he was brewing. While thinking, he stroked Li Wanjun's head with his hand, feeling her sharp tongue. The news of Mu Bai's death came not long ago. When he was temporarily detained in the detention center, a mentally ill person suddenly attacked and accidentally killed him. Of course, this is all the information shown on the surface. As for the truth, it is always hidden in the dark and will disappear completely with the passage of time. The protagonist is dead, so Xu Liang must come to comfort the heroine. Patting her head, Li Wanjun understood immediately and stood up to hold the chair. There are many heroines in this world, and there should be no shortage of protagonists, waiting for him to deal with them one by one. Xu Liang is very busy. Hello everyone. I am actually a reborn person, and I have obtained a system. As long as you read and urge to update and reward 3 times in a row, it can be activated. Then I will give you Jiao Chan's waist, a kidney of steel, and endless life. Chapter 44 Angels and Demons. Let the storm come even harder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Afternoon, under the shade of trees in the community, Xu Liang rubbed his chin and looked at the pond, where several fish were chasing and playing with each other. Standing next to him was a middle-aged man with a calm face, slightly bent over and with a very low posture. The eyes that looked at Xu Liang were full of respect. I gave you something, do you know what to do with it? Understood, I will do my best to produce and put it into use, so as not to disappoint you. The middle-aged man quickly promised. If anyone who knew him saw this scene, they would be horrified. There is no other reason. This is the CEO of Galaxy Group, who has accomplished the miracle of making a group stand on top of the world within a few months. It was such a being, but he was trembling and submissive in front of a young man. This scene is simply dreamlike. It's just that the world doesn't know that these are just given to him by Xu Liang. If someone is unhappy, one word can send him from heaven to hell. Xu Liang called him over, firstly to give him the new battery technology, and secondly to listen to the group's work report. You go ahead. Yes. The middle-aged man resigned respectfully and left. It didn't take long before his forehead was already covered with fine sweat, and his back was covered in cold sweat. The pressure is just too much. Despite Xu Liang's gentle appearance, especially his smile makes people feel like a spring breeze, but only those who truly know him will know. Hidden under this smile is what kind of bloody storm. At least, there are dozens of people who died directly or indirectly because of him. The appearance of an angel, the heart of a devil. It is the best interpretation of Xu Liang. Brother Liang. Li Wanjun ran over panting. After eating just now, Xu Liang asked to go for a walk, while she cleared away the dishes. After cleaning up, she hurried out, fearing that Xu would have to wait for a long time. today Xu Liang promised her to accompany her to the hospital to see her mother. Xu Liang looked away from the pond, his aura was still gentle. Let's go. A Rolls-Royce stopped in front of me, the female bodyguard opened the car door, and the two of them got into the car one after another. The First People's Hospital of Shanghai. It is the largest hospital in Shanghai, with the best medical conditions and the most advanced medical equipment. During this period, traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine were at odds with each other, and it was affected to some extent, but not significantly. There are so many people getting sick every day, and Baikatang is simply too busy. The greatest impact is on those purely Western hospitals. They united to suppress Baikatang. Fortunately, the suppression was successful, but they were stepped on to rise. Anyone who is worried about a family member getting cancer wants to stay away from them. The only possibility waiting for them is to close their doors. When Xu Liang and the two arrived, someone was already waiting for him at the door. Chen Jinjia was a little confused. Xu Liang sent her a message in the morning and asked her to come here to treat a patient. Why didn't Xu Liang take action himself? If you want to know your own acupuncture techniques, he taught them step by step. It was a little strange, but she came anyway. Seeing the familiar car approaching, a bright smile appeared on her face. As a newlywed, it was time for you and me to be together, and she also wanted to stay with Xu Liang. However, when she saw a beautiful woman getting out of the car with Xu Liang, the smile on her face froze. Didn't I keep you waiting long? Xu Liang said with a smile as he brought Li Wanjun to Chen Jinjia. Chen Jinjia shook his head and looked a little pale. It's the goddess doctor. Next to her, Li Wanjun exclaimed. In the car, Xu Liang told her that he would help her cure her mother. At that time, she was still a little confused. Her mother had cancer and she needed to be treated by a goddess doctor. It's not like Li Wanjun never thought of asking her for treatment, but she is so famous now, countless people are looking for her, and appointments are scheduled for several years. Out of her unconditional trust in Xu Liang, she did not question it. Now, seeing the goddess Dr. Chen Jinjia, she was very excited. Then he looked at Xu Liang. With deep love in his eyes, unexpectedly, Xu Liang invited the goddess doctor. For her, this scene happened to be seen by Chen Jinjia. An indescribable taste came to my heart, bitter, heartache, discomfort, all kinds of mixed flavors, but she could bear it. She has worked hard to revive traditional Chinese medicine since she was a child, but her endurance is far from ordinary. Xu Liang took everything in his eyes, with a faint smile on his face. That's right. He caused the situation in front of him intentionally. Otherwise, with his medical skills, Li Wanjun's mother's cancer was still in its early stages, and he could have easily cured it. Call Chen Jinjia over and let her see this scene, just to make her prepare in advance. She has other women, and she cannot keep them alone. She will know sooner or later anyway, so why not face reality sooner? This was undoubtedly very cruel to Chen Jinjia, who had just lost her virginity to him. I gave you the most important thing yesterday, and today you appeared in front of me with another woman. One can imagine how she feels now, and when she learned that the person she was asked to save was the woman's mother, her heart ached even more. I have something to do, so I'll leave first. After curing the person, Chen Jinjia found an excuse to leave, not caring about Li Wanjun's thanks. Looking at her back, Li Wanjun was thoughtful. She is not a fool. Just now, she was just worried about her mother's condition, so she didn't notice the change in Chen Jinjia's expression. I always feel that this scene is a little familiar. It's the same as when she knew Xu Liang had other women. However, under the impact of Xu Liang, she recognized the reality. This man is too strong, and she can't bear it alone. Brother Liang, can you go and accompany her? That it was precisely because she knew how she felt at the time that Li Wanjun couldn't bear it, and looked at Xu Liang and said, she will get used to it. Xu Liang's face was full of confidence. Chen Jinjia is not a submissive woman like Li Wanjun, who can surrender after a few hours of confrontation, but it can't be difficult for him. He also has different countermeasures for dealing with heroines with different personalities. For a woman with a strong personality like Chen Jinjia, it is necessary to cut the Gordian knot quickly. If the truth is revealed after a while or someone tells her the truth first, it will be more difficult. This is also the main reason for her to face reality early, making the storm more violent. Please give me power, all kinds of requests, begging. Chapter 45 The largest underground organization. I'll give you a chance to be a dog. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At night, Wolf Walk World Nightclub. The largest midnight carnival venue in Shanghai. Few people know that this is also the headquarters of the Wolf Alliance. The Wolf Alliance is the largest underground organization in the Magic City. In the past 20 years, no one has shaken its status. Their purpose is, a wolf travels 1,000 miles to eat meat, a dog travels 1,000 miles to eat shit. The first requirement for joining the Wolf League is to be ruthless. It's better to be a little more ruthless than ruthless. At this time, a depressing atmosphere enveloped the place. The senior leaders of the Wolf Alliance, including the leader of the Wolf Alliance, Zhang Xiaoya, were standing at the door with solemn faces. It seemed like he was waiting for some big shot. I don't know how long I waited, but a Rolls-Royce came slowly and stopped at the door. When they saw the figure getting out of the car, a group of people came forward to greet him. Master Xu. Xu Liang smiled and nodded. Then, surrounded by everyone, he walked into the top floor of the nightclub. Arriving at the living room, he unceremoniously sat down at the main seat. I wonder why young Master Xu came to my place. Zhang Xiaoya looked confused and asked aloud. Oh, it's nothing. Xu Liang raised his eyebrows. I just thought of an interesting game and planned to recruit a dog to participate. I think the Wolf Alliance is quite suitable. As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was stunned. What? Let our Wolf Alliance be dogs? So bold, why does he have it? Just because he is the eldest son of the Xu family? If you don't agree, I will never agree. Leader, please don't agree. After a moment of silence, the whole place was in an uproar, and all the senior officials were filled with anger. Letting the Wolf Alliance be treated like dogs, doesn't it mean treating them like dogs? Those who can stand here are all werewolves. How can they bear this anger? Each one of them glared at Xu Liang. Their auras erupted, and the atmosphere was very depressing. Among them, one person said nothing and looked on coldly. Only when he looked at Xu Liang, the enthusiasm in his eyes was undisguised. Xiaoya, leader of the Wolf Alliance, felt her heart sink and her face looked extremely ugly. Over the years, he has become accustomed to being the boss, and has countless people fawning over him wherever he goes. When did anyone dare to talk to him like that? Not to mention treating him like a dog. It can be said, that if Xu Liang's identity wasn't taken into consideration, he would definitely have someone take action and cut his body into pieces. Taking a deep breath, suppressing the anger in his heart, his tone became colder. Sorry, we in the Wolf Alliance are wolves, we cannot be dogs. He led a group of senior officials out to greet Xu Liang, which was to give the Xu family face. I didn't expect Xu Liang to be so ignorant. In this case, there is no need for him to be polite. If Xu Liang wants to attack him, the Wolf Alliance is not a vegetarian. Over the years, he has sacrificed a lot of the interests of the Wolf Alliance and secretly given countless benefits. When trouble comes, those people will not just sit back and ignore it. There is also something that makes him not afraid of Xu Liang. That is, the Xu family's focus has shifted to the imperial capital, and Xu Liang is now the only one in the demonic capital. As the saying goes, the sky is high and the emperor is far away. A strong dragon will not overwhelm a local snake. That's it, it's a pity. After looking at the magnificent buildings around him, Xu Liang clicked his tongue. I don't know whether I feel regretful that I didn't accept the Wolf Alliance as a dog, or I feel regretful that everything around me will disappear into thin air. Originally, he had imagined a game against Xia Qingqiu, and the Wolf Alliance was a good chess piece. Since the Wolf Alliance didn't agree, they had no choice but to give up. Dare to reject him. It must be said that the Wolf Alliance is very courageous. He has not been rejected by anyone for who knows how long. Glancing at the two bodyguards beside him, only Ming Jin was at his peak. He felt that it was time to replace a group of bodyguards. Before, I was worried that after the plot started, it would be wiped out because of too many changes. In addition, since his own strength was enough to cope with everything, he sent those masters out. Now that he no longer has that worry, he can also summon some people back. The bodyguards around me are too weak and I feel like I'm not showing up. If you dare to reject him, you must be willing to bear the consequences. There is no need for the Wolf Alliance to exist anymore. Xu Liang got up and walked towards the door. He couldn't give up on the interesting game he had in mind. If the Wolf Alliance passes, then support a new force. It's easy for him too, it just takes a few days. the senior executives looked at Xu Liang's leaving figure with resentment in their eyes, but no one made any move. "I'll see Mr. Xu off." After giving them a sarcastic look, a charming woman stood up and chased Xu Liang. After leaving the nightclub, Xu Liang was thinking about which force to support when a voice came from behind. "Master Xu." Xu Liang turned around and saw a charming woman running over in a hurry. "Mr. Xu, my name is Yi Yuan, and I am one of the 4 deputy leaders of the Wolf Alliance." She came to the front and immediately introduced herself. In addition to leader Xiaoya, the Wolf Alliance also has 4 deputy leaders, each of whom has peak Ming Jin strength. Xu Liang said nothing and looked at her calmly, waiting for the next step. "I think the leader is wrong." Yi Yuan was excited and fanatical. Xu Liang suddenly became interested. "How could a group of idiots know your greatness? They dared to reject you without knowing what's good for them. They have already found a way to die." After a pause, Yi Yuan actually knelt down directly. "It is their honor to be your dog. I am willing to be your loyal dog and follow you." Her tone was pious, without any disguise. Xu Liang's eyes were calm. This woman is a bit pretty, but unfortunately she is not the heroine, and her appearance is not up to the level of the heroine. He is not interested. "There are many people who want to be my dog, but I am not interested in you." After saying that, Xu Liang was ready to leave. Yi Yuan was anxious. Suddenly, she thought of the game Xu Liang had mentioned before, and said quickly, "Don't you have a game for the Wolf League to participate in? I can lead the Wolf League to be your dog." Xu Liang paused, looking very interested. He wanted to find an obedient force. Other forces needed him to cultivate, and the Wolf League was ready. If the Wolf Alliance is obedient, there is no need to destroy it. Just you alone. There are 3 vice leaders like you, and there is another leader above. Can you convince them? Seeing the effect, Yi Yuan breathed a sigh of relief and replied. "You don't need disobedient dogs. Since those idiots are ignorant, I will help you kill them." When she said this, her tone did not change at all. It seemed that she was not talking about killing companions, killing brothers who lived and died together, but about killing a chicken. Interesting. Xu Liang felt more and more interesting. This time he did not refuse. It depends on how far this vice leader of the Wolf Alliance can go. Looking forward to your performance. Looking at Xu Liang's back as he walked away, Yi Yuan slowly stood up. The fanaticism in her eyes did not diminish at all. "I won't let you down." Chapter 46. The world is a chessboard, and all living beings are chess pieces. Playing with everything. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why is she so fanatical about Xu Liang? Let's start from a few months ago. Yi Yuan was responsible for the intelligence of the Wolf Alliance. At that time, she was responsible for investigating the underground training ground on the outskirts of the Demon City, and many mysterious people appeared. As a local snake of the underground organization in Shanghai, if such a place suddenly appears, of course we must investigate it clearly. However, she sent waves of people there, but could not find any information. When people continued to investigate further, there was no news about those people, and they were most likely dead. From then on, she no longer dared to investigate in depth, and could only start with the single person, but these people were well hidden, covered in black robes, and no one knew who they were. By chance, she caught a glimpse of Xu Liang, so she asked people to investigate Xu Liang, hoping to get clues. The result was undoubtedly nothing, but she didn't give up and sent people to investigate further, but they disappeared again. A flash of inspiration suddenly occurred. Could there be any relationship between the two? Could it be that Xu Liang built the underground training ground? It happened that Skynet was born at this time, and the power it displayed frightened the dark world and made the whole world tremble. Then came the Galaxy Group. The genetic medicine liquid it produced made countless people crazy, and countless forces sent people to investigate. The Wolf Alliance was no exception, and they were sent by her again. The result was the same as the previous 2 times, all those sent died. Maybe others don't think it's a big deal. The eldest son of the Xu family. Galaxy Group and Skynet have no connection at all. But she was very imaginative. Could it be Xu Liang, Or it could be that the Xu family developed the genetic medicine and established the Galaxy Group. He also secretly trained countless masters and established Skynet. As soon as this thought came to her mind, her breathing became rapid and her heartbeat accelerated. A strong throbbing came over my heart. One stands on top of the world, using heaven and earth as a chessboard, and all living beings as chess pieces, a vague figure with all control at the palm of her hand appeared in her mind. Just a guess made her extremely crazy and fascinated, and her whole body trembled. I feel like my blood is boiling all over my body. I'm so excited that I'm shaking all over, and I want to surrender immediately to that person's feet. Today, facing Xu Liang at close range, his otherworldly temperament gradually made the blurry figure in her heart clear. So there was the scene just now. She was willing to kill all her brothers and friends, just to have them by her side, not to mention surrendering at his feet and killing everyone in the Wolf Alliance for him. She was willing to let her die. That person is so fascinating. On the other side, Xu Liang sat in the car and looked at the tablet computer, which contained all the information about Yi Yuan, from birth to now, what happened, who she came into contact with, and a dedicated psychologist analyzed her character. After reading it, he raised his eyebrows slightly. Did you think of something? According to the information, Yi Yuan investigated him, the Underground Coliseum, and the Galaxy Group. At that time, he also received news that the Wolf Alliance was investigating and asked him how to deal with it, but at that time, he was worried that it would affect the plot, so he didn't take action. However, he never leaves any evidence behind his work, and there is no possibility of finding him. It should just be the association of Yi Yuan. There is no evidence, just a guess. This woman's mental illness is somewhat serious. Through Yi Yuan's information, a psychiatrist evaluated her character. She is a woman who is very good at fantasy and loves to be strong. It's no wonder what she did just now. How to deal with it? Xu Liang pondered. Yi Yuan had no evidence that he was the one behind the scenes, but he could guess part of it. As cautious as he is, he will naturally not allow such an unstable factor to exist. This was such a talented person. It would be a pity to kill him. Then try the effect of mind control. Pixing Dayu Bar. It's only 8 o'clock in the evening, but there are already many people pouring in, just because Xia Qingqiu showed up at the bar last night. When the news spread, countless people flocked to the place. Everyone wants to see the Mafia Queen. Not only ordinary people came to see the beauty, but also attracted a group of young men. In a private room on the second floor, a group of young people wearing famous brands and having good temperament gathered together. Yes, they also came for Xia Qingqiu. These young men may not have the ability, and they are the first to waste their money. But when it comes to beauties, each of them is very energetic. Young Master Lu looks like he has a weak kidney. How many women have you changed recently? Ha ha ha, Brother Zhuang, not to mention the second brother. I heard that you have adopted a pair of sisters. Can you stand it? Ha. I only know women every day, and I die on a woman's belly every day. Young Master Tan, you are noble and awesome. Then why do you come with us to see Queen Xia? This is my first time in the Magic City. I heard that Queen Xia is no worse than that goddess doctor. Is it true? Then she is really a goddess. Zhang Han, if you want to die, get out of here. Don't get us involved. You dare to set your sights on Liang Ji's woman? You really don't know how to write the word death. Originally, the private room was full of people chatting and laughing, and the scene was harmonious, but suddenly it became tense. A group of people couldn't help but move away from the young man named Zhang Han, looking at him as if they were looking at a dead person. Zhang Han. Who am I? What did I do? What did I say? Didn't I just say that the female doctor was beautiful? And I haven't finished my sentence yet. Seeing that he didn't mean it, someone explained the reason. It turned out that a young man had said a few bad things about Xu Liang's woman behind his back, and his family was killed that night. That young man is still a beggar in the slums. Hearing the explanation, Zhang Han was scared and sweaty, his hair stood on end, and he was terrified. At this moment, a young man broke in. Stop bragging, Queen Xia has appeared. Swoosh, 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 a group of young men suddenly stood up and rushed out. They were now on the second floor, and from this angle, they could just have a panoramic view of the scene on the first floor. At this moment, the originally noisy hall seemed very quiet, and you could hear a pin drop. Everyone stared at the door in front with wide eyes, full of expectation. Not long after dressed in a long dress, elegant and dignified, charming and enchanting, with a queen-like temperament, Xia Qingqiu slowly walked in, kneeling for support. Chapter 47. Xu Liang, she is my prey, do you understand? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xia Qingqiu was still so radiant. Next to her was a pretty girl with short ear-length hair, wearing a shirt and tight pants, looking extremely capable. She was guarding Xia Qingqiu like a bodyguard. Many people wanted to get closer, but retreated after seeing her cold gaze. As for Lin Hao next to him, he was ignored by them unconsciously. He was really unremarkable. Wow, it's really Queen Xia. I finally met her in person. She is indeed unrivaled in beauty. No matter how many times I watch it, I never get tired of it. If I marry someone home, who will get out of bed? What the hell? Who is that guy? Is he going to confess his love to Queen Xia? Suddenly, a figure broke into their field of vision, and they all looked at it intently. I saw him wearing a suit, with a fashionable hairstyle, and dressed like a dog, walking toward Xia Qingqiu with a bouquet of flowers in his hand. Ji Buchang was born in the Ji family. Although he was not as good as the four major families, he still had tens of billions of assets. It's just that his identity is a bit embarrassing. He is the second son of the Ji family. There is an elder brother above him, Ji Bachu, who is more capable than him. It is almost impossible for him to inherit the family property, unless foreign support is found. However, those who have the strength and intention to cooperate will seek out his eldest brother, while he is ignored by others. At this time, he heard that Xia Qingqiu was not only beautiful, but also very capable. If you can pursue her, not only can he get a stunning beauty, but he can also get the support of the Xingyue society, the second largest force on the Demon City Road. So he started pursuing the dog skin plaster model. He had failed several times before, but this time he was well prepared. When he came to Xia Qingqiu, several younger brothers appeared one step ahead. A heart shape composed of 999 roses has been arranged, with a large diamond in the middle worth at least tens of millions. There was also a band set up nearby. A song full of sweet love sounded. Qingqiu, I have liked you for a long time, please be my girlfriend. Ji Buchang knelt down on one knee, handed the flower in his hand to Xia Qingqiu, and said in a sincere tone. Who is he? A toad wants to eat swan meat, but he doesn't even bother to urinate and look in the mirror. Pursuing Queen Xia. Is he worthy? How much is he worthy of? Huh, what age are you now, and you still want to use this method to force me into the palace? It's an old trick. Seeing someone pursuing the goddess, the crowd of onlookers immediately stopped, and everyone spoke mercilessly. Ji Buchang. He really wanted to use this to force Xia Qingqiu to agree. Isn't that how it's done on TV? This is also what is written in the novel. Every one of them embraces the beauty in the end. Why is it different when you come here? Judging from the reactions of the people around him, are you still saying promise him and kiss him? Everyone wanted to tear him into pieces. Second floor. A group of young men watched the good show and gloated. TSK, it turns out to be Ji Buchang. I didn't realize that this kid is very quick to strike. This is due to the pressure from his brother Ji Bachu. Preparing to recruit Xingyue will be his help. It's a pity that it's destined to fail. Queen Xia even rejected the three young masters. I heard that brother Liang also pursued her without success. What the hell? Real or fake? Otherwise? Get your melon seeds and peanuts ready and wait for him to be slapped in the face. Xia Qingqiu's face looked a little ugly. She has rejected this guy several times, and this time she forced him in front of so many people. If she hadn't taken into account the other party's identity, she wouldn't have bothered to pay attention. In this current situation, she was a little embarrassed. The answer is that it is impossible to agree, and it would not be good to refuse directly. The Xingyue society is now in a critical period, and it is not suitable to make enemies, let alone a big family like the Ji family. Seemingly sensing her embarrassment, Lin Hao took a step forward. Brother, don't you see? Qingqiu doesn't like you, so you should go find those little fairies. He was not worried about whether it was a big family, but he was very angry, and his tone was not polite at all. Seeing such a scene, he couldn't help but think of Xu Liang's senior sister, and he was so angry that he was separated from the wall. "What are you?" Ji Buchang stood up, and the sounds coming from around him made him a little angry. Lin Hao's words directly ignited his anger, and he pointed at his nose and cursed. "Brother? Who the hell is your brother? Also, you also called me Qingqiu. What a stupid thing." Lin Hao looked gloomy and was about to teach this guy a lesson when a long voice sounded. "It's quite lively here." The familiar voice made his heart skip a beat. Slowly turning his head, he saw the figure that made him want to kill him quickly. Xia Qingqiu's body trembled slightly. What was supposed to come eventually came. After being attracted by Ji Buchang's confession just now, many people noticed it. I don't know when. There was a troubled young man next to me. Xu Liang had a gentle smile on his face and his eyes fell on Ji Buchang, who was as quiet as ice. The name of Xu Liang is known to the upper circles for words, "Don't provoke." Although Ji Buchang is a playboy, he dare not act rashly in front of Xu Liang, just like a mouse seeing a cat, trembling. "Go away." The faint word sounded. Ji Buchang shuddered, and hurriedly prepared to leave in disgrace, but he was stopped by Xu Liang. "Come back." Ji Buchang showed a smile that was uglier than crying. "Liang. Brother Liang. Take these garbage away, and..." After a pause, Xu Liang slowly walked a few steps closer and patted his shoulder. "She is my prey, understand? Understand? Understand?" Ji Buchang was sweating profusely, his hair stood up, and his back was soaked with cold sweat. Because the distance was relatively close, Lin Hao and Xia Qingqiu heard it, and their faces kept changing. Xia Qingqiu's heart sank. Xu Liang really stopped hiding. How should she deal with it? Lin Hao immediately became furious, glaring, shaking all over, and was so angry that he exploded. If eyes could kill, Xu Liang would have turned to ashes by now. He knew Xu Liang was a scumbag, but he didn't expect him to be so scumbag. He was simply a scumbag to a new level. He just slept with the eldest sister, and now he found the second sister. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but blame himself. It was all his fault that the eldest sister was harmed. Ding. Lin Hao is resentful of you, villain value plus 999. Ding. Lin Hao has self-doubt, villain value plus 888. Chapter 48 Playing Games with the Queen of the Underworld. If you lose, you surrender. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After asking his younger brother to collect the flowers on the ground, Ji Buchang rolled over. It was so scary. I didn't expect Xia Qingqiu to be the woman Xu Liang liked. Competing with brother Liang for a woman, isn't that like turning on the light in the toilet, looking for death? Who is he? So handsome and elegant, and I feel so warm when he smiles. Don't say. I don't feel any disobedience when he stands with Queen Xia, a handsome man and a beautiful woman. I know, I know. There are 4 major families in Demon City. Do you know why there are only 3 young masters? Because there is another one who is superior to the 3 young masters, or in other words, the 3 young masters are not qualified to be compared with him. That's right. He is the eldest son of the Xu family, Xu Liang, and there is no young generation who doesn't call him brother Liang when he sees him. Everyone was shocked by Xu Liang's appearance and temperament. Almost all the women present were so excited that they couldn't close their legs. Even men felt ashamed in front of him and couldn't feel jealous. Without paying attention to Lin Hao's murderous look, Xu Liang smiled at Xia Qingqiu. Would you like to invite me up to sit? Taking a deep breath, Xia Qingqiu calmed down and gestured. Mr. Xu, please. Then the two of them went upstairs together. Lin Hao followed closely behind, and if Xu Liang had any ill intentions, he would immediately stop him, although he also knew that it was useless. As soon as he went up to the 2nd floor, he met a group of young masters. How could these young masters still be as cheerful and talkative as before? They looked like elementary school students who had made mistakes and were waiting for the teacher to criticize them. Hello, brother Liang. Xu Liang smiled and nodded, and went straight to the 3rd floor with Xia Qingqiu. Seeing that they did not mean to blame them, the group of people finally breathed a sigh of relief. and many people had cold sweat on their foreheads. In fact, they also knew that as long as they did not offend Xu Liang, he would be a gentleman in the world who was elegant and easygoing. If they offended him, he would still be gentle and elegant on the surface, but his means would be killing people. While chatting and laughing, that's what it means. Third floor Xia Qingqiu's office. Except Xu Liang, no other man has come in. When he entered the door, he paused and looked at Xia Qingqiu. I don't want anyone to disturb our good things. Xia Qingqiu had a bad premonition in his heart, but he had to do what he wanted. You guys go down. The female follower glared at Xu Liang hatefully, and walked to the side unwillingly to sulk. It's not that she didn't think about protecting her master, but she was really helpless against Xu Liang and had no power to fight back. Lin Hao didn't leave. His face was extremely ugly. When he was attacking the senior sister before, he still had the image of a gentleman. Are you not hiding it now? What should he do? Gradually, Lin Hao's eyes became firm. Even if he is not Xu Liang's opponent, he can't let the second senior sister be bullied. Fight. He doesn't seem to listen to you. Xu Liang looked at him with interest, with a teasing look. Lin Hao, I told you to go down. Xia Qingqiu pursed his lips and ordered again. Lin Hao still did not move, his eyes fixed on Xu Liang. Xu Liang, what are you going to do? Come to me if you have anything. TSK. Why do you have to force me to do it? Xu Liang said lightly, and he made a move, extending two fingers. Lin Hao had been on guard against him for a long time, and when he saw him make a move, he hurriedly dodged. But he soon found that an opportunity locked him and he couldn't hide at all. No matter how he roared in his heart, he could only watch Xu Liang's fingers approach and tap him several times. An extreme sense of weakness came over him, and he fell to the ground. Okay. No one will disturb us now. Xu Liang smiled slightly, and his words were plain, as if he had just done something insignificant. Xia Qingqiu's pupils contracted. Through the inquiry, she also knew that this junior brother was not only not weak, but also very strong. The strength reached the peak of dark energy, but he was taken down without any resistance. How strong is Xu Liang? He is definitely not an ordinary master of Huajin. She did not dare to resist, and followed Xu Liang into the office. Lin Hao's eyes bulged, and he was furious. He never expected that he would be knocked down by acupuncture points after studying medicine for 6 years. He never expected that there would be a day when he would be acupunctured. As Xu Liang asked the door to be closed, he could no longer see the two of them. Ding! Lin Hao was shivering. Villain value plus 888. Xu Liang sat on the sofa without considering himself an outsider. Seeing Xia Qingqiu standing there in a daze, he hooked his finger. Come here. Xia Qingqiu frowned. From the beginning, she felt that Xu Liang was completely different from before. He completely stopped hiding in front of her. Facing such Xu Liang, she felt panic for no reason. After hesitating for a while, she came to the sofa and sat down, keeping a safe distance from Xu Liang. Why are you sitting so far away? It makes me look like a bad guy. Xia Qingqiu actually hoped that he was a bad guy, because bad guys are not as bad as him. The next moment, a hand reached out, and she, who was in the early stage of dark power, was held by the waist before she could react. With a little force, she couldn't help but fall into an embrace. That's right, Xu Liang is completely done pretending. He is not one of those licking dogs, and he will not be led by a woman by the nose, to make him feel like spring breeze. The premise is to give you face. You have to continue. As mentioned before, his patience is limited. There are other heroines waiting for him. Why would he keep dawdling on a heroine? Since you don't want to give face, then just show your cards. I just don't know. Can you withstand the means after he shows his cards? Reaching out his hand, lifting her chin, and raising her cold but charming face, seeing a hint of stubbornness in her eyes, Xu Liang chuckled. How about we play a game? As cold as Xia Qingqiu, when has she ever been so close to a man, or held in his arms? Her face was filled with shame and anger, and her beautiful eyes seemed to be spitting fire. If you win, I will let you go and never harass you again. What game? Xia Qingqiu was stunned. Facing Xu Liang in this state, she was really a little scared. When she heard that she could get out of this situation, she asked hurriedly. As for the game, I represent the Wolf League and compete with your Xingyue club to see who is the first force in the Magic City. Xia Qingqiu turned her head away. You can control me by yourself, how can this be played? She might as well admit defeat directly. As if seeing her thoughts, Xu Liang continued to speak. Don't worry, I won't take action, nor will I send people to help the Wolf League. Are you serious? Xia Qingqiu turned her head back and stared at Xu Liang. Who am I to break my promise? Xia Qingqiu fell into deep thought. Now the Xingyue Club is about the same strength as the Wolf League, but she is still confident that she can win. Isn't there a junior brother coming? Lin Hao was vulnerable in front of Xu Liang, but he was indeed a top dark power master, and he had a great chance of winning, and this might be the only chance to get rid of Xu Liang's entanglement, and she didn't want to miss it. Gritting her teeth, Xia Qingqiu agreed. Okay, I promise you. Xu Liang smiled, and his smile was hard to understand. He was still a little naive. Perhaps she was eager to get rid of Xu Liang, but she didn't think of some things. He said he wouldn't take action, and he wouldn't let anyone help the Wolf Alliance, but he didn't say he wouldn't consume her power. Besides, it doesn't matter if the Wolf Alliance loses, does he? Xu Liang looked like a man who keeps his word. Whether you win or lose, you can't escape his palm. By the way, what if I lose? Xia Qingqiu asked nervously. If you lose, you and the entire Xingyue Club will all submit to me. Seeing the smile on Xu Liang's lips, her heart trembled. Suddenly she regretted agreeing to his game. Okay, we've discussed the game, let's both stamp it, as a ceremony to reach an agreement. What does that mean? When Xia Qingqiu came to her senses, Xu Liang's face was already close at hand. The next moment, her eyes widened. Love is always there, can you show some support? Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to let us know. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 49. The killer is coming. Is it the bodyguard who appears? Female protagonist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Needless to say, teasing the Underworld Queen was quite interesting, and Xu Liang never tired of it. Xia Qingqiu was ashamed and angry, but she didn't dare to take action, so she could only endure her grievances. I just like the way you can't stand me and can't kill me. When Xu Liang came out, it was already half an hour later. Outside, Lin Hao felt that his strength was slowly recovering and he could try to relieve his acupuncture points. He was so anxious that his clothes were soaked with sweat. The two of them were alone in the same room. He was afraid that the second senior sister would be bullied like the senior sister. Suddenly, the door opened. He quickly looked around and saw Xu Liang coming out, then he left without even looking at him. Lin Hao was so angry. Ding, Lin Hao's mentality exploded. Villain plus 999. He worked harder to unblock the acupoints and wanted to check on the second senior sister's condition. There is someone faster than him. The short-haired girl dodged and rushed in. When he saw Xia Qingqiu sitting on the sofa in a daze, he thought she was being bullied and immediately became angry. I'm going to kill him. After saying that, he turned around and prepared to chase Xu Liang. Xu Liang had been here several times before and asked her to go aside and play in the sand. He didn't do anything to Xia Qingqiu. If she knew that Xu Liang could use force, she would not let him and Xia Qingqiu be alone together even if she died. When she was hunted by her enemies, it was Xia Qingqiu who rescued her and finally avenged her, for which she was very grateful. Shao Qi is back. Xia Qingqiu quickly stopped her. The short-haired girl turned back in confusion, and then discovered her blind spot. Apart from her clothes being a little messy, she was fine, and she couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. In Xia Qingqiu's view, Shao Qi is not only her subordinate, but also treats her as her own sister. To protect her, she must not be allowed to provoke Xu Liang. Outside the door, hearing the girl's angry voice, Lin Hao finally opened the hole and rushed in. Second senior sister. At a glance, he saw that Xia Qingqiu's hair was disheveled and his clothes were wrinkled, and he was so angry that he was separated from his body on the spot. After hearing Xia Qingqiu's explanation, he felt lucky again. Apart from being taken advantage of and looking like someone was being fucked, she didn't lose her virginity. In fact, he thought too much. How come Xu Liang's strength only lasted half an hour? Xia Qingqiu is in Jin, and should be as powerful as him. Walk out of the Pixing Dayu bar. Xu Liang was just thinking about which heroine to find tonight, when he suddenly stopped, then he continued to walk forward calmly, as if nothing had happened, but a faint smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Go back to the Xu family compound. The driver drove conscientiously. After Xu Liang said where he wanted to go, his eyes fell in one direction through the car window. Interesting. There was an expression of interest on his face. Just now, he noticed a strong murderous intention. It's for him. The strength is not low, reaching the peak of dark power. The man hid very well, and his concealment skills were top-notch, but he still couldn't escape his perception. The other party is a killer. The god-level assassination skills he acquired were also taught to Skynet members, and that aura could not be hidden from him. Who could it be? Xu Liang raised his eyebrows, somewhat thoughtfully. It's really time to change the number of bodyguards. Why should anyone follow them? But having said that, what about the bodyguards rewarded by the system? You haven't come yet, maybe you're lost, right? The car drove smoothly on the street. A car fell some distance behind and followed quietly, not knowing that it had been exposed. Arriving at the Xu family's territory, there were strong men guarding the surroundings in the dark, and they soon discovered that someone was following them, but after receiving the news from Xu Liang, they chose to stay put and try their best to hide their figures, that's all. The following car unknowingly arrived at the Xu family compound, which can be said to have entered the territory of death. When Xu Liang's Rolls-Royce stopped in front of the compound, Mercedes rushed up quickly and stopped after a gorgeous drift. Immediately afterwards, a fiery red figure came down and stopped in front of Xu Liang. Ding, the bodyguards have arrived, please host to restrain yourself. Xu Liang. Are you serious about the system? He could feel the strong killing intent from this woman. A person who came to kill me. You told me he was a bodyguard. Right, I remember when I drew the bodyguard reward, it was mentioned that bodyguards would appear in different ways. It's quite novel to show up by killing him. After withdrawing his mind, Xu Liang took a serious look at the killer. The killer was a woman, and a very beautiful woman, with an oval face that was too beautiful to be true. She was wearing a red dress, which seemed to be soaked in blood, giving people a sense of enchantment. Soon, he discovered something interesting. This female killer is actually lucky and has the aura of a protagonist. Could it be that he is the protagonist of a female novel? Xu Liangzhong guessed. Seeing how calm he was, the female killer frowned, becoming more and more certain of her suspicion. She has been in the Magic City for a while. By chance, she discovered the existence of the underground Colosseum. Seeing the scene that was like hell on earth, she, who had always been just, decided to defeat him. However, after secret investigation, she discovered that there was actually Grandmaster Huajin sitting inside. If she hadn't been at the top of her concealment skills, she would have been discovered. With nothing to do against the underground Colosseum, she decided to find out the mastermind behind the scenes. She is not only an excellent killer, but also a top hacker. Isn't it easy to find out who is behind the scenes? It's really not that simple, or rather, it can't be found. There were no clues. It was like it appeared out of nowhere. This made her think of Skynet, the mysterious and terrifying organization that suddenly appeared. Even under the investigation of her top hacking skills, she could not find it. This brings us to the reason why she came to Kyushu. She began to track down Skynet since she started doing evil in the dark world. At first she couldn't find anything. Finally, after a few months, she discovered something was wrong. That's right, just one thing. The direction Skynet transmits information is Kyushu. What happened at the underground training ground reminded her of Skynet. Is there any connection between the two? So she began to investigate the major forces in the Magic City. A mountain is hollowed out and cannot appear out of thin air. There must be support from big forces. After several days of investigation, he set his sights on Xu Liang. Everyone else is clearly visible under her top hacking skills. This was the only person she couldn't find out clearly. It should be said that it didn't match the facts. Since you can't find it, let's try it out. The thought of so many people dying because of Xu Liang made her murderous. Judging from Xu Liang's reaction at this time, it seems that she checked it correctly. To know, most people would have been frightened to death by her murderous intent. How could they look at themselves so calmly and leisurely? She asked coldly. Did you build Skynet? Xu Liang rubbed his chin and nodded. Yes. The female killer Flax was stunned for a moment. I didn't expect Xu Liang's answer to be so direct, and his murderous intention almost turned into reality. Are those people? Before she could finish speaking, Xu Liang said. I gave the order. His eyes were calm. Now that he has spoken out, he has no intention of letting this killer leave. There are only two options: either die or surrender. The female killer stopped talking, her body was trembling, and her murderous intent was boiling to the extreme. Ding. Bloody Rose is so angry that she has a villain value of plus 999. Chapter 50, She turned out to be a saintly woman. Imprisoned in the basement. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bloody Rose. Su's conscience moved, searching for the memory of the Bloody Rose in his mind. Although he is not in the dark world, he knows everything about it. All information collected by Skynet will be sent to him. When it comes to bringing the heroine into the family, he usually doesn't have time to look carefully and only takes a cursory glance. This one glance is enough. He has the ability of photographic memory. Scarlet Rose, 25 years old, an orphan, was abducted and sold to a mercenary group since she was a child. During training, she stood out among the orphans. After countless days and nights of hard work, he gradually grew into a top killer. Unlike other killers, she only kills evil people. She won't take on tasks other than killing extremely evil people. When she encounters someone doing evil, she will kill them for free, and will even take the initiative to kill those who do evil. She is like a breath of fresh air in a dark world. Wherever there are people doing evil, she can be found. But she is extremely powerful and few people can match her. She seemed to like roses very much. After killing someone, she would always leave a rose petal behind. Gradually, the name of Bloody Rose spread. TSK. It turns out to be a holy mother. Xu Liang clicked his tongue. I was already certain in my heart that this was the protagonist in a certain female novel. Orphan starts, top killer, top hacker, likes to do chivalry. She went wherever there was oppression. It can be said that Our Lady's behavior was very serious. At best, she's a holy mother. At worst, she's nosy. What does someone do that requires you to be busy? Moreover, even among the people she saved, were they all good people? You finally found the person who killed your family and spent money to find a killer to kill him, but you saved him. It's not surprising that the Bloody Rose found him. Her holy mother wanted to seek justice for the people Skynet killed, so she began to investigate Skynet, who was also a top hacker, and the villain and the protagonist sympathized with each other. Only then did we find him all the way. Thinking about it, she wasn't sure at first, otherwise she would have taken advantage of him and assassinated him. There are only a very small number of people who can figure things out like Yi Yuan. In fact, Xu Liang had no objection to this kind of holy mother, but if you interfere with him, you are seeking death. A bloody dagger appeared in her hand. Xiangwei's eyes were cold. I will avenge the hundreds of thousands of dead souls. After saying that, he quickly rushed towards Xu Liang. Because the speed was too fast, a red afterimage was drawn. Xu Liang curled his lips. The Holy Mother is like this, she likes to be moved by herself. Looking at the oncoming figure, he stretched out his hand and grabbed her neck. Rose was horrified. She was charging towards Xu Liang just now, and was just about to swing her dagger to wipe off Xu Liang's neck. The next moment, she was unable to move and was grabbed. It was like she ran over and was strangled by Xu Liang's neck. She wanted to fight back, but found that she couldn't move at all. Grandmaster Huajin. Only then did she feel Xu Liang's strength. Yes, if he can control so many Huajin masters, how could his strength be weak? This time she was careless. If it falls into your hands, I will kill or chop it into pieces at will, and I will never frown. But don't be complacent. You have killed so many people. You will be punished by law one day. You will be punished for all your bad deeds. Look, it's unyielding justice as soon as it comes out, and the protagonist is real. Ding. Bloody Rose is angry at you, and the villain value is plus 666. Xu Liang smiled brightly. He has already figured out how to deal with this heroine. Somehow, seeing the smile on his face, Xiangwei felt like her scalp was numb. Before she could say anything more, Xu Liang tapped her with his fingers several times. After letting go of her hand, she fell limply to the ground. This time it was harder than the few taps on Lin Hao's body. If you don't understand the acupuncture points, you can't open them without Xu Liang. Take him down and put him in the basement. To activate mind control, You must break her psychological defenses or make her willingly surrender. The heroine has a strong mind and is not so easily able to control servitude. However, he has plenty of means." As he finished speaking, 2 female bodyguards stepped forward and took Qiangwei to the basement. In the dark basement, there is no light to be seen here, no sound to be heard, only eternal darkness. Thick darkness enveloped her, and Qiangwei seemed to recall the fear she felt when she was a child and was abducted by human traffickers. She wanted to struggle and escape, but she didn't have any strength. He couldn't even bite his tongue and commit suicide. 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours passed. She was hungry and sleepy now, and the fear in her heart was gradually spreading. Click. At this time, the door was opened. She quickly looked over and saw Xu Liang walking in, holding a small leather whip in his hand. There was a woman following behind. Xu Liang looked at her with interest. Her hair is disheveled, and the tired look on her face shows that she hasn't slept all night. How can she still look the same as yesterday? Kill me. The voice is a little hoarse, which is caused by not drinking water all night. Killing is against the law, and I'm afraid of retribution, so why would I kill you? Xu Liang's tone was a little playful. Qiangwei was speechless, knowing that he was teasing her with what she said yesterday. She began to regret coming to Xu Liang. I'm a little curious about how your killer organization handles mistakes made by subordinates. Ding. Bloody Rose is angry at you, and the villain value is plus 777. Ding. Bloody Rose has hatred for you, and the villain value is plus 888. Ding. Bloody Rose is afraid of you, and the villain value is plus 999. Bite. 10 minutes later, Rose curled up and trembled, seemingly losing interest. Xu Liang handed the whip to the woman next to him. I'll leave her to you. As long as she's not dead, disabled or mentally ill, I'm still useful. After saying that, Xu Liang turned and left. Yes, sir, I promised to complete the mission. She is an instructor and was responsible for the training of Skynet killers. Not only is he proficient in killing techniques, he is also good at training and torturing people.